No. Federal government says the general election will hold as planned. NDDC alerts the nation over new COVID-19 variants. Governor Adeleke urges religious leaders to suggest ways forward for Osun government. And on the foreign scene, Rwanda refuses protection for fleeing citizens from the DRC. Good evening, the major report. This is David Ojo. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, has said the 2023 election will be held as planned. Alhaji Mohammed said this in Abuja at the 7th edition of President Muhammadu Buhari's Scorecard series. The minister's assurance came in the wake of killings allegedly perpetrated by the Eastern Security Network, the militant arm of the outlaw indigenous people of Biafra and banditry in the northwest. According to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, over 41 attacks have been carried out against its offices across 14 states since the 2019 general election, with the Southeast recording 13 attacks. The attacks, which started in Abia in May last year, spread to Enugu and Ebonyi, with 3 incidents each. Imo with 2 attacks, Anambra and Abia with 1 each, and Bayelsa and Akwa Ibom states. INEC had raised alarm over the rising security situation across the country and its impact on the 2023 general election. INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu spoke at the validation of election security training resources in Abuja, noted that the forthcoming election faces serious stress of cancellation should the insecurity across the country fail to improve. Nigerians have harped on the need for concerted effort among security agencies in the fight and insurgency and all forms of criminality that could hinder the successful conduct of the general election. Those who spoke in separate interview with Osbc News against the backdrop of the warning by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that insecurity and attack on its offices could lead to postponement of the forthcoming general election, called on all stakeholders to ensure that the process is not disrupted. Our reporter, Oluchi Amuda, gives us the story.
The declaration by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that the growing wave of election-related insecurity across the country, if left unchecked, could lead to the postponement of the forthcoming general elections has continued to generate reactions among Nigerians. The electoral umpire had noted that the development could hinder the declaration of election results and precipitate a constitutional crisis. Reacting to this, a public affairs analyst, Comrade Michael Ebofin, stated that INEC has taken the right step by informing Nigerians of the dangers ahead, noting that it behoves on the government to do all within its power to stem the tide of the rising insecurity in different parts of the country.
What Mahmoud just said yesterday now is an early warning, telling us that if he did not categorically say that we're not going to have the election or it's going to be postponed. It doesn't have the power, it doesn't have the authority. But because of some indices that be surrounding it, it may, and we can see some physical things. Recently, we witnessed that of kidnapping at Edo train station, which is uncalled for at this period. We are still battling with that of Abuja, but look at what happened in Edo, inside here. So that's one of those things. You cannot really blame Mahmoud for saying that. So what we need to do is to really relax and not being disenfranchised.
Speaking in the same vein, another analyst, Mr. Femi Ogumbanwo, urged Nigerians to remain hopeful, adding that INEC only hinted about the possibility of postponement as a result of insecurity would be taken care of. He called on all Nigerians to support and cooperate with the government in the fight against insurgency and all forms of criminalities.
It's just a probably. We are of the opinion, by the special grace of God, the election will definitely hold. But the whole essence depends on me and you. If the security if the security of the entire state, as Nigeria as a whole, is not right enough. I think that is the essence of why he had come to brief the generality of the people.
INEC had last month decried a wave of attacks on its offices and facilities across the country as it released data that showed attacks across 15 states, including Imo, Enugu, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Abia, and Osun states. Others were Anambra, Taraba, Kaduna, Borno, Bayelsa, Ondo, Lagos, and Ogun states. Reports say currently there are pockets of violence and insecurity across the country, with banditry and kidnapping in the northwest and parts of the north central, Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, killings by unknown gunmen, and clashes between security agencies and separatists in the southeast, among others. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
Nigeria may have reserved earlier directives stopping banks from loading automated teller machine with higher banknote, saying financial institution liberty to pay in any denomination through the channel. A telephone conversation, the Director of Corporate Communication CBN, Osita Onwanezobe, said the banks have not broken any rule as they are free to load the ATMs with the denominations they have, as they are not under any restriction. Osita also stated that the Apex Bank had, as part of the original circular restricting cash holding, capped maximum denomination payable at ATMs at 200 naira, added that it also pegged individuals and corporate entities' weekly cash withdrawal limit at 100,000 and 500,000 naira respectively. It added that with the reverse policy coming into force, customers expected the banks to commence dispensing 200 naira notes at ATM points in what is considered as contravention of the regulatory directive. The CBN noted that the clarification suggests commercial banks are not under any obligation to pay customers the scarce lower denomination through the ATM, adding that the majority of ATMs are configured on 1,000 naira, while a few pay 500 naira. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is selling petrol at a loss because of its mandate from the federal government as regards PMS subsidy. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timothy Silva, remarks that with the supply issues and the downstream oil sector, that the often leads to fuel scarcity. The scarcity might persist till June, based on the government's plan to end petrol subsidy. The petroleum minister spoke in Abuja at the resumption of the scorecard series of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said the government had budgeted about 3.6 trillion naira for fuel subsidy till June 2023. Chief Silva, while speaking in Abuja, insisted that subsidy had been a burden, but stressed that it was a mandate of the NNPC, which had made the oil farm to continue selling PMS at a loss. There is anxiety in the private sector as federal government seek to heap more taxes on businesses through its controversial Financial Bill 2022. The National Assembly yesterday passed the bill alongside the 2023 Appropriation Bill without subjecting it to a public hearing, as aspect now contested by the organized private sector. According to the 2023 Appropriation Act, the total revenue available to fund the budget is estimated at 10.49 trillion naira. And these include gross revenue of 63 government-owned enterprises totaling 3.87 trillion naira. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed said the document undergoing a review will bring to force broad reform in the tax system, complement ease of doing business. According to the minister, the federal government's oil revenue share is projected to be 2.29 trillion naira, non-oil taxes 2.4 trillion naira, and federal government's independent revenue 2.6 trillion naira. She stated that the finance bill seeks the imposition of 0.5% tax on all eligible import from the non-African countries to fund Nigeria's obligation and international organization, an increase to tertiary education tax from 2.5% to 3% of companies' profits. Nigeria is on alert amid global concern over a new strain of COVID-19. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, at a press conference in Abuja said over 663 million confirmed cases and over 6.7 million deaths have been reported globally. The NDC Director General Dr. Ifedayo Adetifa said globally more than 3 million new cases and 10,000 deaths have been reported between December last year and January 1 this year, saying these represent a reduction in weekly cases of death of 22% and 12% respectively. It also added that the African region reports a 73% and 32% decrease in new cases of death compared to the previous week. Dr. Adetifa said the resurgence of COVID-19 in China following the relaxation of the country's zero COVID policy and the unsurprising increase in cases, hospitalization, and death also attracts concern about possible emergency of the new variants. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has called on religious leaders in the state to always feel free to come up with relevant suggestions on how to move the state forward. The governor made a call while addressing leaders, diocese of the Methodist Church Nigeria, who came to offer prayers for the governor, his team, and the state governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekelekun completes the story.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke played host to the leaders of the Methodist Church Nigeria from the dioceses of Ilesha, Osogbo, Ijesha North, and Imesile to his office. He assured the church, led by the Archbishop of Ilesha Diocese, Most Reverend Amos Akindeko, JP, that he is ready to carry everybody along in the running of the state, saying that his doors remain open for productive advice that will assist in putting the state on a higher pedestal. The governor preached religious tolerance among people, saying that right to freedom of religion and association shall be guaranteed under his administration.
Our Lord praise program has begun already. So by the time that we sit down, you will see life. Life across the state. Osun State will be a reference point to Nigeria. The government has been doing, we will be taking them to where we wherever so that we can take it to other states.
The governor said he was elated to receive the church who have come to pray for him, his deputy, the secretary to the state government, chief of staff, and others working with the PDP administration in Osun State. Senator Adeleke, while appreciating the church, sang a song of praise which the gathering chorused. Speaking earlier, the Archbishop of Ilesha Diocese, Most Reverend Amos Akindeko JP, said the church has been offering prayers for the governor of Osun State for the past 8 years. Most Reverend Akindeko said the church will continue to pray for the governor, the deputy governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, secretary to the state government, Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye, chief of staff, Alhaji Kazim Akinleye, and other members of the PDP administration in the state.
Excellency, I pray that God Almighty will not forsake you in Jesus' name. He said people will be surprised. They will marvel that why has the Lord done this to this person? Simply because that person refuses to listen to the instruction of God.
High points of the spirit-filled prayer session include prayers for Governor Adeleke and the first family, the state, and the nation at large. The church also presented Bibles, daily devotional guides, diaries, and calendars to the governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke. It has been Abdurrahim Adekelekun reporting.
With people. The civil servants in Osun State have been urged to shun corruption, in order to enjoy a peaceful and stress-free retirement, in order to be worthy of celebration after our service year. A retired head of service in Osun State, Pastor Shegun Akinwusi, gave this advice at the 2023 New Year Party of Forum of Retired DGs, GMs, PMs, ESMs, and Osun State Civil Service. Omotayo Adibod has the details.
It was celebration galore for the members of Forum of Retired Director Generals, General Managers, and Executive Secretaries, among others, as they came together for their annual New Year party for the year 2023. In his welcome address, the President of the Forum, Chief Aderiola Adeleke, appreciated all members of the Forum for their cooperation and contributions, as well as their active participation in all activities of the Forum throughout the outgone year. He added that the Forum consists of distinguished administrators and loyal public servants who have retired but not tired, experienced, disciplined, knowledgeable, and matured, adding that they are always available to the government if their help is needed to utilize the rich reservoir of talent and experience to move the state forward. In their separate remarks, the chairman of the occasion, Pastor Shegun Akinwusi, head of service, Mr. Ayanleye Aino, who was represented by the Director of Pension, Alhaji Bayo Raji, stated that the forum must put efforts together to advise the government of the state and liaise with other forums to reposition the civil service. They maintain that the development of the state lies in the hands of civil servants. They equally charge them to uphold the rules and regulations of the civil service. The forum comprises members of different areas of specialization such as administration, agriculture, broadcasting, education, advocacy, local government, health, engineering, among others, who are willing to serve as consultants or advisors even at short notice. Omotayo Adibodun, Osbc News.
The Law Enforcement Agency has confirmed that armed men shot at his official at Awolowo Road, Ikoyi area of Lagos State. The agency spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, stated that the incident happened in the early hours of today while the operatives were trying to intercept a truck carrying cannabis. He noted that though some of the NDLA operatives were shot, he couldn't ascertain if anyone was admitted to the hospital. He added that suspected fake security agents who accompanied the truck of cannabis opened fire at the NDLEA operatives. The spokesman revealed that the intervention of the military men situated at the military hospital in the area aided the recovery of the truck and the drugs. An Afrobeat star, Kizz Daniel, has started this year on a high note as a highly released RTID, which means Reach Till I Die, has hit 1.7 million views on YouTube in just 3 days after his release. Taiwo Alake of the Entertainment Desk has more on this.
Kizz Daniel's music, Reach Till I Die, has been described as a perfect reflection of hard work, diligence, resilience, and a summation of his musical journey so far. Added that the sumptuous musical cocktail has Daniel in a mood of thanksgiving, which is obvious in the lyric that are spiced with proverbs and wise saying. This makes it a guaranteed pick-me-up for everyone wishing for more affirmation and inspiration as they continue in the new year. It also depicts the singer's luxurious life as stated in the lyrics. I live the life I want. I love the life I live. Kizz Daniel was also the crooner of two of the biggest hits in 2022, Buga and Cough. The song was produced by Reward Beats and co-produced by Blaze Beats, with the visuals brought to life by Ace Music video director T.G. Omori. Meanwhile, Nigeria Afro-pop artist Yemi Alade has announced on an online streaming platform as its Equal African artist for this month. Fiona Okumu, Spotify head of music Sub-Saharan Africa, disclosed it in a statement in Lagos. She said the Spotify Equal African program seeks to provide female artists with the support and resources to grow their craft and reach worldwide audiences through multiple playlists. According to her, the beneficiary also received off-platform guidance and to help take their music careers to even greater heights. Spotify Equal African program has kicked off this year by shining its spotlight on multiple talented Nigerian artists, Yemi Alade, Alade, a leading female Afro-pop artist in Africa, is the latest musician to join the list of accomplished artists featured on the Equal African playlist. Spotify is looking forward to showcasing her talent to an event-wider audience and working with her to further map out her success. Taiwo Alake, Osbc News.
Sports segment. Goalkeeper Hugo Iloris has announced his retirement from international football aged 36, while Wales captain Gareth Bale has announced his retirement from football at the age of 33 after a glittering career. Omotayo Adebodu has the detail and more on our sports desk.
Now, penalties in the 2022 World Cup finals on the 18th of December. Loris had captained the country to the World Cup victory 4 years earlier when they won the 2018 tournament. France have been drawn with Gibraltar, Greece, Netherlands and the Republic of Ireland in the qualifying group for Euro 2024. Loris made his international debut as a 21-year-old in a friendly against Uruguay in November 2008. He won his 145th appearance in the World Cup finals defeat by Argentina, which made him France's record appearance maker. Loris captained France 121 times, which is also his record. Meanwhile, Bale, a 5-time Champions League winner with Real Madrid, is arguably Wales' finest ever footballer. Cardiff-born Bale's club career took him from Southampton to Tottenham Hotspur and a world record transfer to Spanish giant Real Madrid before his move to Major League Soccer club Los Angeles FC in June 2022. He was his country's talisman as they reached the 2016 and 2020 European Championship before he led Wales at their first World Cup since 1958 at Qatar 2022, ending his international career with 41 goals in 111 appearances. Bale was twice named Footballer of the Year while at Tottenham in 2010, 2011 and 2012-2013 and moved to Real Madrid for what was then a record fee of more than £80 million in September 2013. During his time in the Spanish capital, Bale helped Real win 3 League Cups and 5 Champions League titles, a number no other British player has matched, along with 3 Club World Cups, 3 Super Cups and a Spanish Cup. In the meantime, Aston Villa have agreed a fee with Real Betis believed to be around £12.5 million for defender Alex Moreno. The left back is due to fly to Birmingham tomorrow to undergo a medical and discuss personal terms. Moreno had not travelled with the rest of Betis squad to Saudi Arabia for the Spanish Super Cup. The 29-year-old has started 14 out of Betis' 15 La Liga games this season and has made 122 appearances for the club since joining from Real Vallecano in 2019. Omotayo Adebodun, Osbc News.
Stories. Rwanda cannot offer safety to its citizens fleeing in the Democratic Republic of Congo, stoking high tension between the Central African neighbors. Sarah Omidele has the details of these and more from the foreign desk.
Congo, stoking already high tensions between the Central African neighbors. The authorities say the persistent fighting in the east of the mineral-rich DRC peace federal groups against rebels from the M23 group, which has captured swaths of territory. The DRC, along with the United States and several European countries, has repeatedly accused Rwanda of backing the Tutsi-led rebels from M23, although Kigali denies the charge. In the meantime, Saudi Hajj and Umrah Minister Taufik bin Fawzan Al Rabaya Islamic Annual Hajj says pilgrimage will return to pre-pandemic levels this year after restrictions saw the annual religious commemoration curtailed over coronavirus concerns. Saudi authorities says the Hajj required all able-bodied Muslims once in their life represents one of the world's largest gatherings of people. Before the pandemic, the pilgrimage drew millions each year to Islam's holy city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia, home to the cube-shaped Kaaba that observant Muslims pray towards 5 times a day. Meanwhile, Myanmar has jailed 112 people, including 12 children, from the minority Rohingya after they were caught attempting to leave the country. The report said the court in Bogao in the southern region of Myanmar recently sentenced them without any official documents. Hundreds of thousands fled the country for neighboring Bangladesh in 2017 after a brutal crackdown by the military that is now the subject of an international genocide trial. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees says the number of Rohingya undertaking such journeys increased sixfold last year compared to 2021. Sarah Umidele, Osbc News.
It's a foreign story, hence the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Babatunde Bolatito. My name is David Ojo. Thanks for watching and good night.